Does stem cell therapy cure autism? I've been asked this question a couple of times, and the last time was last week, and one of the parents asked me, have you ever considered stem cell therapy for your child? Well, I thought maybe we should talk about it. So if you're new here, my name is Lema, and thank you so much for being here. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Remember to like if you like our content, share with us what your views are, especially on this topic, because I know it's quite controversial. And yeah, other than that, karibu sana. Bodies are made of trillions of cells, okay? And remember, cells are a basic unit of any organism. And because we have trillions of cells, these cells are specialized based on where they're functioning. That means the system they're working for. Now, a human body or a human life starts when you have a sperm and ova coming together. Fertilization happens, and then the process of multiplication starts immediately. So the potency of each cell is bigger based on where they are as far as the developmental stage of this body. So immediately after fusion between ova and sperm, those cells are super potent, like they carry the whole life of a human body. And then as the cells continue to multiply, they become more and more peripheral, their potency also goes down. So totipotent cells are cells that usually are immediately after that fusion. So basically, these cells can multiply to become anything that the human body needs. And then as they multiply, they divide to embryonic cells and extraembryonic. Extraembryonic is what makes the placenta and the cord, and then the embryonic is what really makes the human body. The other name for embryonic cells are we usually call them pluripotent cells. They're very potent. From the embryonic, just please don't be bored with these terminologies, but it's important that you know them. It will help you make a decision on whether or not you want to give your child stem cell therapy, especially if you're on the spectrum. So from the pluripotent, we have three types of cells. There are those ones called endoderms. The endoderms make all the internal organs of our body, all of them, okay? Then we have the ectoderm. The ectoderm makes the nervous system, which is where the brain is, okay? And then the epithelium, which is really the lining of inside our bodies, okay? And then we have the mesoderm. The mesoderm is usually the vessels, the muscles, and the blood. Keep that in mind, it's very important. And then once these ones divide into different organs, they form systems, okay? Now, in each system, we get different lineages. And from lineages, we get what we call the multipotent cells. So it's the multipotent cells, they become the stem cells of each system of our body. So the blood system will have its stem cell. The heart cells will have its stem cells. The liver cells will have its stem cells, so now those are all multipotent cells. Okay? Remember, we are coming from the totipotent to pluripotent, and now we are multipotent. So when someone tells you they're extracting stem cells from the bone marrow, they're actually extracting multipotent cells. Keep that in mind. Okay? These are multipotent cells. They give rise to multiple cells, but in a very specific lineage, based on where these cells were extracted from. What you should also remember is that each stem cell resides in its specific system. So if I want a brain stem cell, I need to access the brain. Keep that in mind as well, okay? So what science has done is that now, because we cannot access the brain to get its stem cells, because that will completely, it will cancel the benefit of whatever we're trying to do, we have been able to reprogram the human skin to produce embryonic cells. We call them the pluripotent stem cells, but then these ones are induced. I can take part of my stem cell from the skin, induce it to change it to a pluripotent, and then direct it to produce a different type of cell. I think you've heard that, okay? For example, you've heard of an ear, a full ear that grows in the lab. That's what they do, okay? But then usually the challenge is the sustenance of directing that. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the risk of malignancy of that induced cell. Heard of that, I'm sure you've heard of stem cell now increasing the rates of cancer. So that's where this is coming from. So that's where the current challenge is. How 20 years time, what will happen to these cells? Will these cells just behave the same way, or if something happens, it can just change its whole thing and it start multiplying to become something completely different? Because remember, it was induced. Now, coming back now to autism, you know, what is the cause of autism? We do not have one cause of autism. However, there are so many theories that try to explain what is the actual cause of autism. Autism has been shown to be polygenetic, yeah? It is caused by so many genes, environmental factors, and then there's the familial issue, but also there's another theory of inflammation and problems of the immune system. Now, people who are advocating for stem cell therapy for autism are the ones who believe that autism is associated with inflammation and problems with the immune system. And that is why they're advocating for stem cell therapy, specifically that comes from the bone marrow. I think you can now understand where they're coming from. And it's because of that why they're saying now those ones who have actually received treatment from this, and they can swear that their children actually improved. There's no one cause of autism. So because of that reason, when you give 20 children stem cells, they will not have the same response, because from the looks of things, you can have 20 children with autism who have autism coming from different areas. And so stem cell therapy will not work for all of them. It can work for some, but not for all of them. So that's one of the challenges. Okay? Now, the current research, we had Duke University that did beautiful research on use of cord blood for children who had symptoms of autism. Now, they used the kids' own cord blood for the phase 1. And what research has shown is that actually 2/3 showed improvement in their cognition, in social interactions, and in their behavior. But then when this was randomized to phase 2, it failed. And I personally suspect it's because of the same thing. And remember, these are kids' own cord blood. And since then, we only have every clinic somewhere doing its own thing. And some report the good findings, and of course they don't report the bad findings. And so now, because of that, as a scientist, as a pediatrician, what we know, what I preach, and that's the same decision I made for my son. The fact it's not 100%, you are not sure that actually this will work for my child on the spectrum. It's not something I recommend. It's not something that science recommends. So if you see anywhere where stem cell therapy is being done, it's purely experimental. So the decision goes back to you as a parent, looking at, this is what I always tell parents, where is your child on the spectrum? And for example, if your child is level 1 or level 2, I would highly recommend invest on good therapy and good education. Most of the time, at least all the kids that I've seen, they thrive. If your child is in level 3 and it's very bad, then you can talk to your doctor so that they are able to evaluate your circumstances. But what, from my personal experience, I've seen kids who have been in level 3, they've been able to move to level 2 as they grow. Remember, what we know, scientifically proven, autism is a problem with the way the brain develops. Each one of us eventually will develop. As long as time is passing, there's a way our brain develops. Now, if that is the issue, let's focus on fine-tuning the development of this child's brain. Okay? I usually like to use this analogy. A person on the spectrum came with a hardware. Sometimes that hardware had some, the way the connections were made in that hardware had interfered with their software. Okay? And because of that, you have to reorganize the software so that you form new pathways in the brain. Now you know that's not an overnight thing, and so you need to be patient. But one thing that you need to do is you need to do it right, and you need to do it consistently. Once you are able to see autism that way, it will help you to focus on your child and how best you're going to be able to help. Alright? I really hope this helps someone, and thank you. If you have any more questions or concerns, please be sure to hit me up on the comment section. And other than that, remember to subscribe, like, and share our content. Bye bye, and God bless you.